10 Skulls, a Gothic Chronicle of Woodland Park, Jamestown, 1825 to 2025, by Alexander McConaughey. Prologue. The Path of the Faithful. The morning sun of July 16, 1825, fell through a cathedral of elms in Woodland Park, casting thin ribbons of light over the dew-soaked earth. 10 nuns, robed in grey linen, walked softly along the winding path. Their prayers murmured in harmony with the breeze. But when they reached the clearing, that sacred glade where their students had gone to recite lessons of loyalty and culture, their voices withered. The grass was soaked crimson. 10 skulls lay arranged in a perfect circle, polished as though by divine fire, each with a faint cross etched into the crown. The eldest nun, Sister Mary Beth of Providence, fell to her knees and whispered, "Mercy upon their souls." But the air did not answer, only the rustling of trees, as though the forest itself exhaled. Part 1. The Devotion of the Damned, 1825 to 1840. Chapter 1. The Choir of the Dead. Woodland Park was once the site of St. Hilara's convent, a sanctuary for orphaned girls taken under the care of devoted sisters. Each summer, the convent held its 2 weeks of verse, culture, and loyalty, where the girls learned humility, song, and obedience. But the summer of 1825 was different. Strange hymns were heard from the woods at night, melodies that twisted familiar prayers into something darker. The townsfolk of Jamestown spoke of the Red Dawn Mass, a ritual whispered among the sisters, meant to cleanse sin by sacrifice. After the tragedy, the convent was closed. The church burned mysteriously the following year, its bell found melted into the soil. Yet no culprit was ever named. The skulls, the 10 skulls, were buried beneath an iron gate, which still stands, rusted and chained, near the park's center. Chapter 2. The Silent Procession. 15 years later, in 1840, a traveler named Elias Cormand passed through Jamestown and wrote in his journal, "I heard the sound of 100 feet, though I was alone upon the path. The air thickened, and I saw what I believed to be 10 pale shapes gliding between the trees, their faces smooth and bone-white. He was found dead 3 days later, his skull missing, his rosary coiled around an oak branch like a serpent. From then on, Woodland Park was called the Grove of 10 Faces. Locals refused to enter it after dusk. Children dared each other to whistle there. None ever returned the same." Chapter 3. The Blood Beneath the Roots. In 1852, laborers attempting to pave the southern path struck something hard beneath the soil. Not stone, but bone. Dozens of fragments emerged, jawlines, rib cages, fragments of rosary beads. When the foreman touched one of the skulls, his hand began to bleed from unseen cuts. He screamed that the ground was breathing. The excavation was abandoned overnight. Since then, every time a tree was cut down in Woodland Park, another would sprout in the same place by morning, twisted and blackened, as if feeding on what lay beneath. Part 2. The Echoing Years, 1901-1945. Chapter 1. The Song of Iron Bells. Jamestown grew into a quiet city by the dawn of the 20th century, its factories humming and children laughing where prayers once echoed. But those who lived near Woodland Park still swore that the air carried a faint chanting sound at dawn. The Nuns' Hymn, they called it. One morning in 1901, a boy named Thomas Reddin vanished after running through the park on a dare. His shoes were later found filled with red clay. His skull discovered half a century later during renovations. It bore a faint engraving, the same cross as the others. Chapter 2. The Whispering Pavilion. In 1933, the city built a marble pavilion at the park's center, hoping to erase its cursed reputation. But at night, voices echoed under the dome. Workers swore they heard prayers in Latin, followed by the sound of girls crying. During one summer festival, 10 candles placed along the pavilion's steps extinguished at once. Panic spread, and the park was abandoned again. The city sealed it off until 1945. Chapter 3. The Return of Sister Mary Beth. An aging nun, the last surviving member of St. Hilara's, returned to Jamestown in 1945. Witnesses saw her walking into Woodland Park with a lantern. She was never seen again. A week later, 10 new crosses appeared carved into the pavilion's foundation. Locals say her spirit walks with the others now, whispering, "Forgive what was taken, not what remains." Part 3, The Lingering, 1960 to 2025. Chapter 1, The Children of the Hollow. By 1960, Woodland Park was open again to the public. Lovers strolled, children played, and old men fed birds on benches. But the trees never stopped growing darker. In 1972, a child's toy was found half buried beneath a tree, next to a small skull. Authorities dismissed it as a prank. But after that day, people began reporting mirrored voices in the woods, their own words repeated in whispers from nowhere. Chapter 2. The Archaeologists. In 1997, a university excavation team uncovered the burial site at the park's core. They documented 10 skulls, perfectly preserved, their bone etched with both religious scripture and faint runes of an unknown language. The lead archaeologist, Dr. Heller, vanished weeks later. His notes ended with one phrase: "The skulls are listening." The dig site was sealed by the city, but that didn't stop rumors that the skulls moved positions each night beneath the glass display case. Chapter 3, The Anniversary. On July 16, 2025, exactly 200 years after the tragedy, Woodland Park was filled again, this time with curious tourists, historians, and skeptics. The city held a commemorative ceremony. At 10:15 a.m., during the mayor's speech, the earth trembled slightly. Every phone in the crowd captured the same thing: 10 faint figures walking among the trees, veiled in mist. When the fog cleared, the iron gate stood open. The grass was marked again, a perfect circle of 10 skulls. Epilogue. The 11th today, Woodland Park remains open. Children play where prayers once ended in silence. The city denies all rumors of apparitions, but locals say there is now an 11th skull beneath the pavilion, smaller, fresher, and facing upward. And when the wind moves through the trees just right, it sounds not like leaves, but like the whisper of 10 voices, calling for the next.